Totum stara doing. Totum stara doing.
You're looking to be more creative and innovative?
Hear the beats.
And one of the keys to unlocking your potential is an entrepreneurial mindset. I like to say permission granted. No one is successful overnight.
Keep on keeping on.
Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending upon where you're at. Welcome to the first edition of 30 Days to PADITU. I am so excited about this opportunity and this great chance to be able to work and collaborate and create memorable moments and hopefully transform people's lives as we go through the next 31 days. You'll see behind me, I've actually visualized those 31 days so that I can keep track and you can keep track as we go through this process. I am a romantic, and day one, you can never have another day one. The first is always very special. And so we have a number of guests here who I'll be working with, coaching and advising, bringing visualization into the process to help them see what they mean and also advance their dreams forward. Before we get started here today, I want to remind everybody, and those people who know me well know, that nothing of greatness happens without a team. And that's particularly true with this project we're endeavoring in this adventure. And I thank you for joining us on this adventure. And as we learn the process of sharing and collaborating online in this amazing, transformational, miraculous time we live in today. So I want to thank the people who have helped make this possible. Number one is Amy Campbell in Tulsa, Oklahoma, who's our producer behind the scenes right now, making sure all this has come together. Her daughter, Carly Campbell, has come up with the video introductions and closes here that are spectacular. Abdul Barrios, my collaborative writer in music, a new endeavor of mine, is the one who sings the songs at the beginning and the end, Bootstrap for Life and Keep On Keeping On. Encourage you to go visit and check out the video. Keep On Keeping On video will be out soon. I also want to thank Dalia Al-Sayed in Cairo, Egypt, my longtime partner in Impact and PADITU. Couldn't do this without you, Dalia. Seema Patel, my wife and partner, who has been instrumental in helping make this possible as well and coordinating time so we can identify this hour to work together. And then finally, last but not least, surely, my mother. My mom has been instrumental in helping me be more entrepreneurial and achieve the success I have today. So Mom, I love you, and I can't wait till you're on here with your insights with Sean's mom. Okay, that's it. So the format of the show is just a brief introduction, a thought that I'll share that may be meaningful to the moment, and then additionally, we're going to go directly into questions and from guests who I will work with and help solve those problems as we go forward. Thank you, everybody who's here watching, and let's get right to it. Amy. Hello, Dale. How are you doing today?
Good morning. I'm well, thank you. How are you?
Good morning. Where are you calling from?
New York City.
Fantastic. Wow, New York's been through a lot. How are you holding up? How are your family and friends holding up there in New York?
We are scattered all throughout New York. So we do a lot of phone calls. We can't go see my parents, obviously, nor can my brothers. So it's been a lot of phone calls and some FaceTime. Yeah. And a lot of, hey, Mom, it's your birthday. Let's sit on the deck, which is what we did for her birthday. We sat on her deck and my parents sat inside. So
right,
we'll get there. We're going to be locked down for a while. So yeah,
I was going to say, this is something I think everything I'm seeing, we're going to have to get used to. It's not a short-term experience we're going through, and definitely is transforming everything we knew and know to this point. So, well,
especially here, because of our population, we're just so dense. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in DC, so, and I go to New York many times, and I feel for you, and just stay strong and keep on keeping on, as I like to say. You have a question for me?
Yeah, I guess my question is really, I can kind of fall into any any category and adapt very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
But then I never jumped to the next level. So say being an HR chief human resources officer, and I have a lot of ideas, but I like you have an ability like to put things together into your brain to formalize a plan like PADITU. I have a book of ideas and I just go, okay, great. And I guess I get stuck there. Not fear, it's just, I guess I'm not sure. I don't know how to, as I say, business my brain is what I said. That's what I say. So
You what? You say what?
How do I business my brain?
How do you business your brain?
Yeah, how do you business your brain? Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
I was he sings Donka Shane, who sings I forget his name, is the musician, but he said they call it entertainment business for a reason. He says, I spent all my time focusing on the entertainment and forgot about the business. This is when he went broke and bankrupt. And so
I have friends who work in entertainment. It is business first, absolutely.
It's a combination. I mean, we're trying to do the same here, and every day, and we're looking for different ways to create revenue. And so, what is it that prevents you from focusing on the business side? Is the business side something that makes you uncomfortable, or do you feel more natural just in the brainstorming stages?
I'm actually a really weird hybrid. I'm an HR director, so I'm a really weird hybrid. I'm a creative with a very linear thought process. Numbers and money are very easy for me. I guess I don't know. I guess it's the piece of how do you make it become someone else's idea as well. I guess.
Motivating people. Well, the first thing is, and I think I'm going to do a little drawing here. We can go over, and the first thing I'm going to say is this: that it's really important to focus. And you know, when I've been successful in my life, it's because I've spent the most time focusing on that particular thing, that particular endeavor. And so those times where I'm working on multiple projects simultaneously, and Alice Fenton, a longtime partner of mine in Silicon Valley, she'll attest, I had 75 projects going at one time in my life, not doing any of them well. And so you can do, I think, multiple projects simultaneously, but the key is in the focusing. And so what I like to do, and what I focus on, and what I would suggest is looking at finding out what is your greatest passion. So what are you most passionate about? Like, what gets you fired up when you wake up in the morning? I'm good. I'm going to go. I'm going to get this done.
Well, that's part of the problem too. But you're saying before about change and how we're changing at work, and I've been saying this is going on for 10 years, that how we work is changing and it's going to change. So I've been ahead of the curve, and now everyone else is catching up with where I am. I'm like, look, guys, I told you guys 10 years ago this office space was ridiculous, overhead, footprint, all those kind of things. So I've often been way ahead of the curve. And I think for the first time ever, I'm actually right where I'm supposed to be, because what I've been saying for years is actually now how our priorities are misaligned, how we work, all those things are wrong. So that's probably the most immediate place to focus my attention.
And so what ideas have you had in terms of being able to start doing that under the new reality, which, let's just say, from 18 months, we're kind of in something like this for that foreseeable future right now?
Well, with my HR hat on, I'm an HR director, what they call a chief heart officer. It's really now about teaching CEOs or executive leads, C-suites, that how they business matters to their employees. And that's part of the conversation, is actually training them or teaching them that, your bottom line is still your employees. It's over profits, over P&L, over all those things. And employees now are going to be very mindful of how their CEOs or how their future employers handle their employees or their employee base during this time. So I always say I won't curse, but the jerk factor is gone. It's been gone for a long time, but now it's really gone. You can't be a jerk anymore. It's not going to fly. And I think needing to teach CEOs that they have to advocate for their employees. HR has this really, really ugly underbelly. We're not there for the employees. And I actually want to change that conversation, because we are there for the employees first. That's been misaligned in the last 20 years.
Yeah, there's no question that trust, honesty, particularly in this time, are critical factors, and people are looking for that. Let me ask this question to CEOs, having been one, having worked with a lot of C-suites and either strategy, advisory, or helping overall with the company growth. over the years. They're hard to get a hold of. They're hard to get their attention. Particularly today, you're going to have a heck of a time getting attention because they're all in frantic
They're in crisis.
preservation mode. And so anything we talk about with heart or changing dynamics, what ideas are you having to get through the noise to be able to get their attention that can help them make better decisions to plan for the future as it relates to post-COVID-19?
Well, I think because this is uncharted territory for them, they've always been business oriented and not people oriented. And that's where HR comes into play. That's where we can advocate for them, for the employee base.
Yeah, I mean, here's kind of what I'm thinking around this. And I think this is important in terms of, it's the bottom line, right? That's what you're going to have to focus on if you want to get their attention, right? Money. And so what you're talking about, I think, that's important about this and that's good is that you're providing a solution to a large expense. That would be facilities, actual to built-in card cost, the actual and everything that's associated with it. Yeah. So you got a physical solution, so that's good because that's going to save money, right? And then they're going to go into a rehiring, probably, some of them, some businesses. Many are going to go out of business. It's just the reality because they're not going to adjust fast enough. So you've got a hiring strategy that gets them better employees, right? Stronger, more aligned employees, right?
Yep.
In terms of like how you're going to hire the better quality because they're going to be more heartful. The leadership is going to have a better engagement with the people going forward, right? I'm projecting out in terms of what you're doing.
Yep.
And what's your vehicle now to get this out there? Because you've got all the knowledge. Do you have content? Do you have a lot of content right now?
I have no content. Everything's up here. I create no content. It's all up here.
Action.
Which is probably part of the problem.
Yeah. So how can you get that out? How can you get what's in your head out of your head? How can you start doing that? What do you think you can do? What have you thought about doing?
I don't think I have, actually.
Okay. Well,
and that's just being completely honest.
The first thing I would say is you want to write down all those, all your ideas. I would put all your ideas down, right? And then which one resonates? Which one are you most passionate about? Focus on the passion, right? Because the passion will get you through the hard times, the difficult times. This won't be easy. It's like this show, first day, first pancake's always lumpy. You just got to remind yourself that.
Yep.
So you can't judge yourself on this, but you got to get it out. And then what you want to do is you want to start packaging that content into videos, papers, right? Papers, and posting. Are you on any other social media platform besides Facebook?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, you want to post on all social media platforms where CEOs are at. So you got to focus. So LinkedIn really is probably your best bet, right? Mm-hmm. And so I would focus in on LinkedIn. And that is how, and then do you have a web page?
No, because I have no ability to do that. I've tried for like a year.
Yeah, but you do now, right? You've got time now.
I've tried. I've been at it for a week and a half. I have nothing. It's just, I'll get there.
What do you think it is that's, oh, by the way, all these video recordings that I'm doing will get posted as well. So we'll have those to reference back. What is it that holds you back when you, like, close your eyes with me, and what is it that holds you back from taking action? It's like a writer's block is what I'm feeling from you. And what is it that's holding you back? What comes to you when I say that? What is it that's like preventing you from allowing you to flow freely with what you've got in your mind?
So this is the question I can never answer.
You can do it though. I know you can't.
I've done this 100 times.
What's the first thought though? Say it.
There isn't one. That's the problem. No one sees there isn't one. There isn't anything saying no.
Mm-hmm. You are saying no. You see, you're blocking yourself here in this situation. So I have the same challenge sometimes. I literally spent 11 years working on my website. It's still almost, we'll get there soon, launched. And so what I know prevented me from doing that is it didn't feel like it was the right time. And then all of a sudden it was the right time, and all of a sudden everything came out of me. And so sometimes I agree that you can be blocked for reasons that are holding you back that makes sense, and it's a timing issue that you're looking for. In this case, though, I feel like you've really got to identify what it is that's holding you back from taking action, because you've got all these ideas, you've got all these notes, you've got everything you need right now to move forward. And so the only thing preventing you from doing that is you.
Oh, I know that.
And so here's what I'd ask you to do. I'd ask you to take this affirmation and repeat it, right? I am able to do anything. I have the ability to execute and produce whatever it is that I can imagine, and I can do that effortlessly. Something like this, right? Yeah. And repeat that to yourself. And I think what we'll do is we'll check in with you in like 2 weeks and see where you're at. But I think what's important for you is to start writing down those most pressing things. You need a website. You need to get on LinkedIn. You need to start posting on LinkedIn. That can be videos, content, whatever it is you want. Videos work better. That give insights and information targeting CEOs. And so whatever your message is needs to be really honed in and focused to the audience. It's not necessarily, you want to get them to hire and be more passionate, more empathetic, more loving, and more honest and truthful and transparent. All these things are beautiful and wonderful. You still have to get them to take action, and you have to get through to them. The best way I've found to get through to CEOs, because they're beholden stakeholders, most of them that are not social enterprises or nonprofits, that even then you have stakeholders, your customers that you're working with in the field or wherever you're at. You gotta hit them where they're most critical, and for them that's money.
Okay. Yeah, thanks.
Follow that affirmation, and then write down those ideas of yours, or your most passionate ideas, and then focus on the one that you're most passionate about, and roll with that. You can do it.
Thanks.
You're welcome. All right. Thank you very much. Well, I think that this is a challenge we see all over the world. I see all over the world, and that is people held up because their inability to take action. And out of the hundreds of thousands of businesses that I've had the pleasure of somehow supporting and working with, generally speaking, only about 10 to 15% on average are taking action. And that is a great differentiator if you want to be successful. Action. Stop talking, start doing as quick as possible, not tomorrow or the next day, now. Amy, who's our next guest? Frank! How you doing, my friend? How are you?
Very good. I am here in Brazil.
Yeah, not Berlin, huh? I see that. Well,
yeah. You see only a wall, but on the other side there.
I see a blank canvas, Frank. I see a blank canvas. It needs some pens. I'm ready. I'll come over.
So yeah, I'm very nice here, locked down. This is the best what can happen to me. Speaking about focusing, what you were talking before, I think a lockdown is just this.
Yeah.
Take all what is around you away, and first there's you. I mean, there's me. But now comes the question.
Okay, I'm waiting, Frank. What's your question?
My question is, how do I get in cyberspace to my clients? Remind
me your clients, Frank.
Pardon me?
Remind me who your clients are. Who are your top clients?
For example, I am here in Brazil. I was working before lockdown for a hotel company to to coach them in company culture issues.
Culture. Mm.
Company culture issues.
Okay.
What about the company culture, about the culture in a hotel? Yeah.
Frank, you should do exactly what I'm doing right here around company culture and start doing broadcast and inviting people who are specialists and have them come on your show and then start talking about the different techniques and ways that you can support transforming culture, create more high performance culture, particularly today. So everything has been rocked. Everything has changed. People haven't caught up to the change. This is not going to be a short-term type of situation. It's a new reality. And no matter how much people want to try to change it or reality distort it, COVID-19 is in charge. And so it's kind of like here today. This is the adventure. I'm going online. This is it. My new future, online.
Yeah.
So you have the potential, because you have a great personality as well, to do the same exact thing, but tie it to culture. And then I would put in, and of course you know this, I bring in visual tools and I bring in visual exercises that they can use to help support driving more, particularly today, because they can reinvent themselves. And as our last guest pointed out, you know, there's a real need, and there was already a transformation in place related to HR and culture. And I'll put one last thing. One thing that I'm really interested in seeing and hopeful, and having, you know, been around the globe like yourself, is the unconscious bias that comes into everything. And so how do you address that? So I could see a whole bunch of different subjects on culture that you would run. So what do you think of that?
Yes, the point is exactly this. Maybe there is a huge, not maybe, for sure, there is a huge field to work on, which is company culture on cyber companies. I mean, we know the online working. Mm-hmm. And this was always a question I asked myself: how do I build up a company culture when I have teams working all around the globe? We don't see us, we never saw us before.
Yeah.
And we cannot touch us, we cannot smell us, we cannot feel us, to say in the way. And we are living in different time zones, and here it's raining, there's the sunshine, and so on. And how do I make, as a company leader, for example, or a team leader, call it as you want, now I have the project to get this thing going, whatever it is, no? Okay, so let's build this project. And now I have this 10 people around the globe. How do I make them working with a culture about this? Because culture is everything.
Yeah, well, I think that back in the 90s, late 90s, early 2000, I was involved in some corporate culture work, and have continually looked at culture as one of the #1 things with anything that I start up. And historically, it's been seen as a soft. It's not hard, right? So culture's soft, it's not hard. And I think, Frank, if you could do anything to put a dent in the universe, PADITU, it would be to help people understand that culture is not soft, it's hard. And the stronger your culture, the better performance you'll have as an organization, no matter what your organization is. And so I'm going to go back to do this. Do this. Go online and start a show. The show would be on creating performance cultures within remote and physical business environments, business organizations. And I'm sure you can come up with a great name like PADITU. And there is so much need for this type of discussion and this kind of learning, that now is the time. I mean, anything is possible, and anything is more possible now today, as long as you take action and stop talking, start doing. And I think that you have all the right ingredients, Frank. Again, it's focus. You got to focus, and then put it online, tie it to a website and offerings, and you will. It'll work, because you've got all the right ingredients.
SEAN, just give me some words on your personal experience. I knew you in Berlin working, and since I understood you're kind of working in this moment, also was you have had this person in Egypt, I remember, or I don't remember well.
Yeah.
The time scaling, whatever. Yeah. So please, so you have a digital culture company experience. Tell me just a few lines. How did you deal with this?
Well, for the past 10 years, I've been running a remote business, Frank. So everybody is somewhere else, and wherever I am, that's where I am. And I work from my phone mostly. This is like the first time I'm actually using my laptop to this extent now. So what I do is the same thing I do always, Frank, and that is I identify the most high integrity, mission-driven, change-focused, passionate people who are doers, who are action-oriented, right? And I identify those people, and then we just build their capacity to do more of that. And one of the challenges within that is the world is 24/7, 365. And so what happens is you start getting into a situation where, you know, you're going, it's bedtime, but then the reality is it's morning in another part of the world, and people start engaging. And so for me, what I've found is regular communication, regular input on what's important in terms of repeating mantras. So I'm constantly repeating mantras. Go slow to go fast. Stop talking, start doing. Nothing of greatness happens without a team. You don't need funding, you need revenue. These are mantras that I come up with, and those mantras catch on, and those mantras then stick with people, and that builds the culture. So I would be working on culture mantras that you can repeat over and over again. And it may sound like a broken record, but pretty soon people are painting murals of those mantras on walls. Pretty soon people are hashtagging those mantras all over the world, and it catches on.
Sorry, I don't want to step in politics, but you're speaking as Trump.
No, well, okay. You know, I have a little bit of Trump in me because he's an entrepreneur. And so I think that that's realistic. I think that where there's a differentiation is on purpose of life, intention, and that would be, you know, mine is to help as many people and make a positive difference in the world. And so these are universal. So it's no different than an affirmation. I think it's semantics. Affirmation, stop talking, start doing. You can meditate on that if you want to. And you know, hey, Victor, I see Victor just posted a post, shout out to you. I'm writing songs now that reinforce those messages. So that song you heard at the beginning, I wrote that in collaboration with Barrios. The closing song on this is also a song I wrote. And it's all the mantras that I've come up with now I'm putting into songs to reinforce this message. By the way, one of them would be. I
totally agree on the mantras. That's why I came up with Trump, as he is conducting a whole company culture, call it the presidency, by Twitter. So,
but there's a difference, Frank, because it's not. The difference that I would see in this is that it's not a uniting message. It's a separation message, where the difference is, how do we come up with mantras that empower me to be the best I can be and take action? How do I come up with mantras that are going to empower everyone, as many people as possible, who want to and are willing to take action and do the right thing, to do the right thing? That's a big difference. So, and dividing people is a strategic strategy that people have. It's a war technique, actually. Uniting people is also another strategy. And so when we say that there's parallels, I don't agree. I think that he uses his mantras very effectively with a very loyal and committed audience. I would agree with that. And I think that, but what I'm trying to do, and what I'm proposing to you to do, Frank, is to do something like this around performance cultures in corporations and organizations, and help them understand how to be more effective at creating that culture going forward. Because right now, everything's a fresh sketchbook. Nothing's what it was. You have an opportunity now to write a new rule book, and also, like I said before, if you really want to put it down in the universe, PADITU, help people and corporates understand that culture is not soft, it's hard, and it makes a huge difference.
Hard or hot?
Hard, not soft.
And hot too.
And hot too.
It's a
Frank,
hot culture. You
thank
need
you
a
for
hot
being here,
culture.
buddy. I love you. We'll see you again soon.
Okay.
Yeah, you connect with Dale. We'll get you connected with Dale. You too.
Yeah,
Maybe you guys have a show
I know
together.
we'll read the lines. I didn't read it while I was following you.
You
I
have to
just
watch the replay, Frank. Peace, brother. Wow, that's great. Culture. If anybody out there starting up a business, I know you got like 150 things to do simultaneously. Culture is one of them to add to your list. What kind of culture do you want to create? What kind of culture do you want to leave behind? What kind of legacy does that look like? Amy, who do you got next? Carly. Everybody, this is Carly Campbell. She is the one who helped put together our intros and our closes to 31 Days to PADITU. How you doing, Carly?
I'm good. How are you?
I can't hear you. Can you speak up, please?
Yes, I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for all your help. Great,
Yeah,
great
thank
videos
you.
you put together.
Thank you.
You have a question for me?
Yes.
I
Okay.
haven't heard you in the
So,
challenge with this one, huh?
yeah, especially like since I'm a senior this year and like everything that's going on right now, I never really got a chance to like think about like what's after high school.
Mm-hmm.
So like I'm sitting here trying to figure out how do I find a future that inspires me.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause right now it's just like blank.
Is that because you're kind of stunned by what's going on and
I
it's
think
kind
I
of
just like I didn't really get a chance to like finish this part of my life out. So like now I'm having to jump into a whole new chapter without closing one.
mm-hmm.
So I don't really know what's next or like how to even figure out what's next.
Closure is an important thing for a lot of people, and many people go through life without closure, and then it holds them back from moving forward because they sit with that
Right.
comfortableness. And I really wouldn't want that for you, Carly. And so what I would do right now is I would hold a ceremony, your own private ceremony. You could do it with your mother if you wanted to, but in this case, I usually do it by myself. I usually do it by a bonfire or a fire, and write out, just write out your own personal thoughts about closing this last chapter of your life, because it is closed. It's gone.
Right.
You can't go back. It's a new chapter. Everything's new. Nothing's the same. That's real. So, and then just meditate, sit quietly on that, and then I would burn it. If you don't have fire, use matches. But symbolically, that burning of that particular message will help create closure in your mind and in your body, so you can move forward.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's the first step.
Mm.
The second step is brainstorm and put together a list. I'm going to go over to my visual here. I would brainstorm the things I'm most passionate about, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I do memory maps, mind maps, and put that list together like this. And let me move that back down here. And then I would rate those things you're most passionate about. By the way, these things change over life. So don't look at it like, oh, this is the end, because having somebody who's now 53, my passions and my priorities and what I'm excited about looks very different than 15, 20 years ago. And I've been producing these now, almost 30 years of passions and actions, and they're very, very different than they were when I was your age. And so put those passions down, whether that's your choreography work, or whether that's, editing, or, marketing, or whatever that may be for you. Mm-hmm. And then identify that thing you're most passionate about, and then go online. Get on. Your future is the internet. That's it. And a lot of people have been talking about it. I've been talking about it for years, going back to the very beginning of the internet when I was in Silicon Valley in the early 90s. But now it's accelerated and it's real. Here it is. And so that's what I would do, and take that passion and start experimenting online, because your future is an online future. that is you create memberships, you create special videos or access to yourself in private sessions or whatever it may be related to that particular subject or whatever it is you're doing. You can make a lot of money, and you probably can do it right now really well, because you do have the experience you have. And remember, the first pancake is always lumpy. The more you do this, the more you put yourself in uncomfortable positions, the more comfortable you get being uncomfortable. That is a really important statement, because this is an uncomfortable time for a lot of people. And so therefore getting uncomfortable is really, with getting comfortable being uncomfortable is going to be a critical part of anybody's success today, and particularly yours. But these are, and this is your passions here. What are your passions? Focus in on the number one passion you have, and it will take you far. And that it may not be the actual destination. Remember, it's not the destination that's most important. It's the journey. It's the journey, because the journey allows you to learn. It may be a struggle. It may be difficult. You may be like, what is this all about? Why is this happening? It's there to teach you lessons, because those lessons then you take with you forever, and you can apply them in the future. This would be my suggestion. But I think that creating that ceremonial end and closure, particularly lighting something you've written. I mean, I put special chunks of blood and notes into Machu Picchu, and wherever I go, I use those as moments to create closure in my life for different things. And one of the most powerful ways I found is this way, to write down what you want to close on, and then putting it in a symbolic manner. This would be my suggestion. You good with this? You're going to do this?
Yeah.
You'll come back and you'll show us what you came up with and what you're moving forward with?
I will.
All right. We're going to keep following on you. Carly, always good to see you. And thank you so much for all your efforts. Really grateful. Thank you.
No problem.
All right. I'm sure today is my niece's birthday. Aria, shout out. Happy birthday to you. And I'm sure, like so many young people out there, this has got to be really difficult. And so remember, this too will pass. If you're able, focus on what it is you're most passionate about, find something you really love doing, and then do it online. I know TikTok, Instagram are more popular with youth these days. And so I would say find a way to create an audience and hone in on that. Okay, who's next, Amy? Mohammed, how are you?
Hey, yeah, good. How are you? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Where are you?
I'm in New York.
Hey, how's it going? So you're, oh boy.
Yes.
Have you been impacted? How about other people you know in New York?
No, we are safe. We are home, so we are safe.
That's good to hear, Mohammed.
Yeah.
What you got going on? What's your question?
First, this is second time I meet you, but first it was in real life in Cairo. In the first
cities.
Yes, exactly.
Zamalek particularly. I like this a lot.
Yeah. And then I moved 6 years ago, exactly 6 years. This is the first day in my 7th years.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So it was a huge challenge for me, and to start my life from scratch again.
Yeah.
Because I came here with zero. I don't know anybody here. Mm-hmm. And then, as you see now in my back, I'm visual my life here. Everything.
Yeah, I'm seeing that. I'm liking it a lot. It's good.
So I call this corner, it's my submarine, because when I go inside, I just look and see everything. So, okay, when I was in Egypt, I had my project, and it's called Qadim. It's Qadim art, and Qadim, it's an Arabic word. It means old or ancient.
Okay.
So I was focusing on authentic designs and authentic culture. So when I was in Egypt, I was focusing in just the Egyptian culture. So I moved to US, and then I need to be global. So I was like, I need to think, more wide. I start to study geometric pattern, and I start to do stuff. My main skills engraving. So I can, if you can see, this is just empty porcelain tile. Okay.
I'm trying to see.
It's just empty tile, but I can
that I want
convert it to this.
I got you.
You understand? So this is what I'm doing. I'm doing engraving on.
Happy Ramadan.
Thank you. Sorry, I didn't hear.
Happy Ramadan to you.
Happy Ramadan, yeah.
That symbol reminded me.
Yeah, it's because it's Islamic geometric pattern.
Yep, I'm familiar.
So when I came here, my biggest challenge, I'm a technical guy. I'm doing more than just thinking. I love to do. I love to create stuff. That's why once I came here. So when I'm doing it, I'm in all over the place. I can't sit and write a business plan. When I bought a business model, I feel like I can't stuck and I can't follow the process. So right now, after 6 years, when I focusing in my skills and had training with the city for CNC technology, and it was amazing. And before the coronavirus and stuff like this, I was already focusing on how can I start my own business again here in New York. So I start to go to trade shows and stuff like this and just see if I'm still have my booth there, my ideas is still there or not. So up to now, I see a big opportunity for me. So I contact a big company for porcelain tiles, and they have the new era of porcelain tiles. They make like 3 millimeter porcelain tile panel, and I show them how they give me this samples, and I create this one.
Gotcha.
So, you understand me?
Mm-hmm.
So, and my opportunity, there is a big market here, and according to the company and the salesman, he told me, I think he will be the only one in New York doing this and this material.
Who's buying this? Who's buying it?
It's supposed to be the architect and interior designers.
Mm-hmm.
I love to.
What are you learning right now related to home building and what's happening within that space right now related to COVID-19? How are people building more, or what's happening?
Right now, I feel it's the time to planning more, to focus on how to put this in action and make it remotely, even if it's a physical product. So my challenge is how to be online with something it's physical and they want to buy it. You understand me?
Yeah, I mean, there's a term called dematerialization where they're trying to get everything online and dematerialize it. That just you remind me of this. So first of all, what I think is I'm going to go back to where you started, and this was an important part of your background piece here. That you have lots of ideas and you find it very difficult to move forward, and that you put together a business plan or a business model, and that then executing on it can be sometimes difficult because you're moving in multiple directions. Did I hear that correctly?
Okay, now my current situation, I'm already focusing just only in one technique, one material and different designs, which is now I'm focusing.
Okay, so you're focused now. So,
yeah.
But because when I heard you say it before, you were saying you've had challenges focusing, and I want to make sure I understood that so that there was no...
Okay, a challenge to focus on the business because I'm a technical guy. So always I'm come up with focus in design and material and techniques more than... Like it's exactly, I can put it in a simple way. I focus on a product more than the market. It's supposed to focus on market.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, you have a product, right?
Yeah.
And there's a market for that product.
Yeah.
What I'm going to guess is that home building is going to come to a slowdown.
Yeah.
We don't know what's going to happen in terms of, and in New York in particular, I think you're going to see, it's a guess, but it's a good one, that people are going to leave New York after when they can and when they're able. They already have been. And so What I see though is what that means is the market maybe possibly home renovations for existing homeowners who are now realizing that this is their home. They may have had fantasies about buying homes in other places or doing other things, but now they're realizing, well, wait a minute, I'm home. This is home. And I'm going to be staying here. And that mobility that people thought, or multiple homes people thought are slowing down. And so there would be a potential big market to start testing and marketing to, which would be home renovations, where people and architects who are involved in home renovations and remodels, because I can see that I already can see it happening in near this neighborhood here. People are talking about, and they're starting to plan for renovating and improving their home because they're going to be home more. So I would hone in on that. And what that means is you want to be able to do a show like this around the materials you're selling and have homeowners on there and talking about renovations and how to renovate, introducing your materials, and maybe even doing videos of how to install it, that sort of thing, making it easy for people. Maybe it's an online company where they pay a membership, and for that membership, they get access to a bunch of different insights and tips and tricks. You have access to you to help advise them or advise the people who are installing your floors. So this would allow you to start, promoting and selling your products right now. Meanwhile, you'd catch on to other larger projects that would start up at some point or continue on. But my feeling is you could catch a new trend in the marketplace. Again, everything's changed. The new market trend I can see, Home Depot's proving this as well, that their sales are going up because people are buying more stuff to improve. I would try to get into other stores like Home Depot, distribute it out there so you've got another market to sell to that's selling your product for you. I'll pause there. Those are my first thoughts.
Yeah, and actually I had experience 2016 when I said, let me rebrand myself when I came to New York. So when I started to post online my artwork, and it was on Qadim Art on Instagram, I chose a platform on Instagram. And it led me to, I have an invitation 2016 to go to Istanbul. They invite me for the workshop. It was an international workshop for Islamic art and geometric pattern, and they told me about my techniques. It was new and nobody can see it. You didn't see it before.
I can see you doing videos on how you make those so that it's mesmerizing in a video, and that it reinforces the brand. I mean, those shapes are not limited. Also, those geometric shapes are not limited to the Arabic world. That a lot of people like those shapes and would be interested in buying those and having those as part of their home. So again, I mean, do this, create video, and promote. This
is Egyptian ancient language.
That's fantastic. I love the hieroglyphs. Yeah, so that's what I would do, and I would do it as soon as possible. Like, don't wait. Start. Move forward and get it done, because people still want stuff. People still want to have, but they want now they're going to want to have it more in their living area versus having to go out to go get it. So they're going to want the living spaces more of what they're used to when they go out, have gone out before. It's a natural transition, and I would ride that wave, Mohammed.
Yeah.
Good luck with it. Good luck.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
How things are going.
Thank you.
Thank you. Action, people. Do it. Amy, do we have somebody else? Amy, what are you thinking? What do you think so far?
It's a lot of fun. This has been very enjoyable. I think.
Are we done?
Well, I thought we could do some recapping of what we've discussed today a little bit, and
sure.
I think it's just down to you and I. So I'll let you go ahead and think about what you would like.
Thank you for keeping us on track and all your efforts to make sure that everything's flowing smoothly here.
Of course.
Okay, so here's my thoughts right now, everybody. Focus, right? And focus in challenging times like we're in right now can be very difficult because we're distracted. I find myself distracted. All of a sudden I'll get pulled in some direction because some decision's being made or something's happening, and it puts me into a rabbit hole. I've stopped stop's the wrong word. I've slowed down on digesting content or information that isn't relevant to helping me learn, grow, and advance, and continue doing the work that I've been doing. If you've been trying to figure out how to take the work that you've been doing in the physical world, now's the time to do this online. This is it. This is the future. This is where things are going. And I think that it can be hard, right? To think that I haven't been uncomfortable about doing this would be an understatement, because this is something that I'm not used to doing. It's new. And my hair has grown too long as well. And so, you know, we all have our own personal kind of makeup. If there's one thing I would suggest as we go into a closure here, and that is this. It's that there are 7.8 billion people on this planet, 7.8 billion. And that if we're going to get over this and survive and move into a more normalized world, whatever that new normal is, which will be completely different. We're looking at new economies, potentially a new world order that comes out of this. We are 2 months into, let's say, 24 months of whatever this new future is. If we don't figure out a way to unite and come together, then it's going to be very difficult for us to overcome this COVID virus, because each country is going to manage it on their own in their own way. And so uniting is a really important piece of this. So as an individual, it allows us to look global, think about the world in a global perspective, have empathy for that global perspective. This show will help you gain that perspective, because we're going to be talking to people from all around the world each day for 31 days. That's a lot of days. But also localize it. So I have my local perspective and local context, but the reality is I'm part of a global perspective and a global context. And the more that we can get in touch with the global, as well as our local and personal context, the more we're going to be able to work together and be successful at moving to a better world as an outcome, from both economically, materially, spiritually, and individually. Those are my thoughts, and I think that, Amy, we can close this out for today. Congratulations. Let me do this first. 1 day down, 30 days to go. And so there we go. Anybody who wants to follow along, I recommend putting a piece of paper on your wall or a book or a sketchbook and following along with us as we go down this road. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to day 1 of 30 days to PADITU.
You got to never ever give up. Keep it up, keep it up. Never ever give up. Keep it up, keep it up. Never ever give up. Keep it up, keep it up. Never ever give up. Keep it up, keep it up. Griffin walks for life.
Believe in yourself and you'll go far.